Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
Man, do we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about today. But before we get there, I just want to say hello and welcome everyone to Abby's Window. Uh, we are here for our episode, and obviously, a lot of people have been checking on Jodie to see how she is. Um, Jodie, how are you? How are you feeling?
Medicated.
Medicated.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well,
But
that's not always
it,
bad.
it it took a while. I was in the ER yesterday for like 10 hours. It was ridiculous. Um and it was because they were trying all these different pain medications and nothing was really touching it. And I don't know, at some point I just went over the threshold. I don't know if I just gotten so much of it that my body was like, screw it. I don't feel anything anymore. So they finally got, my pain under control and said that I was septic and gave me IV antibiotics and fluids and yeah.
Well, we've been praying for you. We're glad you're here. I know a lot of people have been reaching out, asking about you and all that good stuff. So glad you're here.
Well, I
Um,
appreciate everybody.
yeah, yeah,
Everybody
that's
was reaching out to me too, making sure I was okay.
good.
So I made it home at like 6 o'clock this morning.
And hopefully you got some rest today.
I've been asleep since I got home.
Good.
So I'd say that's good. I got up to eat some breakfast and drink some coffee and pee and then went back to bed.
There you go. Well, good. Let's welcome in some folks real quick because, like I said, we have a lot to talk about. Not only with Wyndham, my goodness, that's a lot in and of itself.
Yeah. He's been very talkative.
Very talkative between his travels and everything. He's been very talkative. So
Mm-hmm.
we've had some friends that were able to see him live and in person. So we'll talk about that. But let's welcome in some folks real quick, and then we'll get started off with Caleb's Corner because there's a lot going on there too. So erase your mind, Jen Carter, Hanzo, Big Dan, James Chadwick, Alicia P, Robert Morris, Dalton Riley, Paul Healy, Shane Loki, Jesse Callan, Moda. What's up, Moda? Annette Morris, Rare Kitty Balloonicorn. Still love that name.
It's a
Uh,
mouthful, but I
it
like
is
it.
it is a mouthful, but you know what? We're getting there. So welcome in everyone. Thank you for joining. So again, we're gonna start off with Caleb's Corner. Um, there's a lot going on in Caleb's Corner, right?
Yeah. I drove 12 hours round trip to Greenville, Tennessee to see him in concert on Saturday. And he was fantastic. And a little bit during the show, he was like, I'm going to be out there at the merch tables after the show. Come hang out with me. And I was like, what? um, so I actually got to meet him, which was pretty awesome. He was very, very nice. He's very sweet. I kind of fumbled all over myself as I expected I would. Um, yeah. he was super nice. I told him that I was going to be at the June 11th show and the June 18th show, and said he was going to get tired of seeing me by the end of the year. And he was like, no, not at all. And I had asked him if anybody had delivered my letter to him. He did remember that I was at the show in Fort Wayne. And I asked him if anybody had delivered him my letter, and he said no. And I ended up I saved a copy of it on my phone. A copy of it on my phone. Oh, I can't talk today. And I kind of just handed him my phone. I said, well, I have it saved electronically. And that sweet guy that he is, he stood there and read the whole thing.
That's awesome.
And yeah, he said, so you had no idea going into TSO, that would resonate with you. And I said, nope, I had no clue. But, I'm really glad that it did, and that I got to find you, and, you've been that source of joy for a while. So
now I'm just showing the pictures.
So Moda Caleb is a singer. He won American Idol season 13. He tours with like 3 different bands. He has his own band, which is who the show was with on Saturday night. And then he tours with Meatloaf's band at the Bat Experience. It's called the Bat Experience, which is an amazing show. He sings all Meatloaf songs, and he's fantastic. And around Christmas time, he tours with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So he's a very busy boy. But, yeah, he was very personable. Like, you could tell that he really just appreciates the fans, which is a rare occasion nowadays. It reminded me a lot of Windham, actually, because, I felt like they both really take that personal care of fans and aren't just like sign, okay, bye, because they're busy, which I get. There are times where it has to be that way because they're busy, but those 2 gentlemen are not like that. They're special when it comes to their fans. They really slow down, take their time, actually talk to people, and yeah, he was just wonderful. He's a really good dude. So I will, at the June 11th show, I already have meet and greet tickets to that one. So I'll be interested to see if he remembers me or not. Not everybody has Wyndham's memory. Windham got irritated with himself for not remembering where I lived. So they can't all have Wyndham's memory. So I'll be interested to see if he remembers me or not.
I'm sure he will.
He might.
I'm sure he will. So, speaking of Windham, well, I don't want to stop you. Do you have anything else for Caleb's?
No, if you just want to put the tour dates up, he's going to be on tour forever. His next one for his own band is the Summer Camp Music Festival in Illinois. That is the weekend of the Indy 500, so I will not be there, but I did challenge him on Instagram to come and try and beat my high score on the Star Wars pinball machine since he's going to be in the area. Yeah, it's exciting. And then with his band, he went to that one in Greenville. Silverados is going to be awesome on the 18th because that's definitely more of his close to home. He's from Asheville, North Carolina. So that's going to be like a home show for him. Greenville kind of was too, because pretty much most of his family were there. So But yeah, Silverados is going to be a big one. I'm excited.
Awesome. And where can folks learn more about Caleb? Check him out.
www.calebjohnson.com. CalebJohnsonOfficial.com. Sorry, medication. Yeah, www.calebjohnsonofficial.com. He's got merch. You can get some signed vinyls,
Ooh.
which are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love vinyls. I'm in a vinyl kind of mood at the moment. I want to buy everything in vinyl. So I do have his most recent album with Logan's favorite song on it. He calls it Red Man Rocket Shoes because he can't say Dead Man Walking Blues. And Logan was so cute. I showed him pictures from the concert and stuff, and I showed him the pictures that you had put up of me and Caleb, and I said, "Who's that?" He goes, "Mommy and Caleb." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Mommy, sing Red Man Rocket Shoes." And I actually got a video of him singing part of that song because I knew he liked it, and he was just sitting there singing along to it. It was adorable.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of Windham was near some of our friends, and some of our friends, Hanzo and C Wrestling, got a chance to meet Windham over the weekend. And I have some pictures that Hanzo has graciously shared. They're in the Firefly Funhouse, which is freaking awesome. That's a great picture. And I know Hanzo is in the chat, so
he's wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
I have to look behind me with my picture with him. I'm like, he's wearing the same shirt.
So I know Hanzo, feel free to share down in the chat about your experience. I know C Wrestling had a great experience as well. Here's another picture.
Yeah, Hanzo made him a book.
Yes.
And it was very, very sweet of him to do that. So it was, pieces of like letters and stuff from some of Bray's biggest fans. And, he asked me if I wanted to write something into him, and I did. And so he was keeping in touch with me all day during that. And, I was like, I told you that you'd love him because he's so easy to get along with. Like, he's one of those special individuals too.
Yes. Yes, he is.
I'm really jealous about that rocking chair though.
That is pretty freaking cool. Like that.
Awesome.
That is awesome. Albany didn't quite have a spot to do that. It would have taken up massively. But yeah, I really dig the rocking chair, and I gotta ask Hanzo. I'm gonna go back to the Firefly Funhouse. How awesome was that? Because it looked freaking cool.
That looked awesome.
It looked freaking cool, and I want to shout out real quick. If you have not had a chance, go check out C Wrestling's video that he posted about his meeting with Windham, and very, very cool autograph that he got. That was freaking awesome, and I know that meant a lot to see. So, and yesterday was C's birthday, correct? So happy! I said happy birthday on the day, but happy birthday, C Wrestling! Wishing you many, many more. Our dear friend. Hanzo says he was the greatest dude ever. So down to earth, so kind. To the meet and greet was such an honor and a blessing. Showed him the book, few pages. He loved it.
It's today.
Today. Okay, so I'm not late. Happy birthday, C.
Happy birthday.
We that's a great birthday present for C. That's a great birthday present. Yeah. So go check out C Wrestling's video when you get a chance. He talked a lot about his meeting and his discussion, and um, that was pretty cool for sure. So awesome stuff.
Hanzo actually got to do that special 10-person Q&A.
Yeah. Yeah. How was that, Hanzo? Let us know how that was. He also says,
Said it was fantastic.
okay,
So
that's awesome.
I
James
do know from Hanzo when he messaged me that he put a bug in his ear about coming on Abby's.
Good. Sometimes repetition is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Not that
Drives
I
home.
forget. I was really just trying to be funny, but
Yeah. Well, repetition is a good thing. James Chadwick saying my birthday is 3 weeks. Is in 3 weeks tomorrow. Okay, cool. Cool. XFL 2023 saying happy sweet 16. C Wrestling. Yeah, that's awesome. So Wyndham has been very active on social media.
Which is
recently.
funny because he hates social media, but he's been a little chatterbox.
He has been a little chatterbox. So let's see. The first thing here,
Who changed his name?
he changed his name. He not only did he well, we'll start with the name change. Um it's a circle.
Mm-hmm.
It is a red circle, and we know that, if you've been following him, you know that life is a circle.
Mm-hmm.
We often use this circle. And this got the internet, the Twitterverse just
He also changed his profile picture.
he did. He changed his profile picture.
I think he drew that.
I was gonna ask you if you thought he drew that.
I think he did.
That man is super talented, isn't he?
Uh-huh. There's another one that I think he drew too.
So is that the I'm gonna go to this picture. Are you meaning this picture?
Yeah, I think he drew that one too.
That is absolutely tremendous. And I wanna read. I'm gonna go to his Twitter here while we do this because I want to read the first part. He says a quote here. I do think it's true that he who makes a beast of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man.
Huh.
And then we get a but, then another but. If you become the machine, you don't have to feel at all. Hashtag what if. And then he says to be sentient. Jody, any theories rolling around? Because this got a lot of people talking. Let's start with the name change.
I mean, that's something he's referenced before about the circle and that life is a circle. And oh gosh, how many times has he referenced that in the past decade about everything being a circle? I think he's always everything. I think part of the reason is because he hates social media. I think he's a lot more careful with how he says things and how he does things. Like he doesn't just post a hey to post a hey. Like he's very selective on what he posts, how he posts it, what he says. And I just think it's a tribute to how amazing he is of a character and how much people love him, especially, fans like us, that he can literally just change his profile name and trend on Twitter. Like 9 times out of 10, if you go to Twitter trending, he's probably on it. Because he just, every time he says anything, the internet explodes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Alicia mentioned this circle being rebirth and reincarnation. I don't know how much to look into it, because you could follow that, as him going back to wrestling as that circle. But I would probably take it more like starting over, if that makes sense. I forget, there was one tweet he quoted about the beauty of a circle is round and round we go. And so I definitely kind of see that as he doesn't have a name right now because he's rebranding himself.
I like that.
Yeah. Like a name doesn't fit him right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can't call me Windham because that's not quite me, or you can't call me Bray because that's not fully me. When he said something like that too, that they were all me.
Mm-hmm.
There was no Fiend and Bray. It was all me. So, maybe this circle is meaning I don't know what my name is anymore. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there is a part of this path that he's taking and trying to figure out what step to take next, where to go, and, what things to do that, that he's trying to figure himself out.
Yeah. Now, the image, the profile picture,
Mm-hmm.
what do you, it kind of looks like a hand puppet almost.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? I mean, I think it's a great drawing. I'm in awe of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at the back of it, it's like a person within a person.
Right.
And that's kind of how he's always been. He's had this happy-go-lucky, like that split personality. He's had this happy-go-lucky side where he's funny and colorful, and then you have his dark side, and it's like a person within a person. But you could look at that as, because if you look at the back of it, it's like brain matter coming out.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying now about it being a hand puppet. So what if somebody else has been controlling that,
Mm-hmm.
and now he wants to get rid of the hand?
Yeah. So it does. Yeah, it does look like brain. There's also a third eye, which is of significance. Erase Your Mind brought that up. Maybe this is an awakening,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, third eye means a lot of things.
Yes. Alicia's saying the hand is the system and the mask is him.
Yeah. That's kind of what.
Yeah. Hello, Mark. Mark saying, I like Wyndham and what he does. Um, he's saying that the photo kind of scared and creeped him out, to be honest. Some stuff is pretty dark.
I mean, I think obviously I don't know, and we don't know everything he's been through in his life, but he's never been quiet about, mental health and going through issues with that. So being somebody that has dealt with myself with postpartum depression and suicidal thoughts, and you have to find an outlet. You have to find something that gets you out of your own head. And maybe that's something that he's trying to do with artwork. So naturally they are going to be darker
Yeah.
because you're pulling it out of your head and putting it somewhere else, almost like you're moving its location so it's not in your brain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of people who suffer from depression, they journal, because then they can get it out. And it's not tormenting them in their brain anymore. So a lot of what comes out is typically, really dark stuff. Like, this is how I'm feeling. This is what, so yeah, I think if that's what he's doing, and he's trying to kind of work through some mental health issues, like pretty much everybody does nowadays. That's his outlet. That's, and he said before that he likes to draw. So I'm going to need an original Windham piece on my wall, please.
All right. James Chadwick saying, could it be anything to do with this movie?
Maybe. It's definitely possible, but my gut instinct is that it's just something, it's an outlet.
It's an outlet. So you don't think it necessarily means that he's coming back in a month or two to wrestle. You think that this is just his way of getting everything out for the world to see.
Mm-hmm. Because you never know. Maybe he's shopping. Maybe he's marketing himself.
Yeah.
He does have that large following. And, if I was going to try to market myself, I'd go to social media.
Yeah.
Because things can just take off. I mean, that's how Tom McDonald became a rap star. One of his videos just went poof, and there he is.
Big Dan saying, someone last night on the Insider show, chat said Wyndham was the new CM Punk in terms of when he talks, the internet breaks.
Mm-hmm.
It's tremendous. I mean, Jodie spoke about this, but it's tremendous how he can tweet out a word, just a word. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trending.
I think the tweets themselves identify some kind of inner battle, because he's talking about, I think a lot of people have asked themselves that question. Well, if I turn into a machine, I won't feel anything anymore. But there's value in feeling things.
Yeah.
Because the difference between everything else God created and us is the ability to feel. And there's value in that, and being able to feel things. So those tweets kind of reflect that inner struggle that, when you become a monster and a machine, you don't have to feel anything anymore. But then you want to be sentient, and you do want to feel things. So I think sometimes we all deal with that inner battle between, I just don't want to feel anything anymore because what I am feeling is so intense. And I get that.
I do think it's true that he who makes a beast of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man.
Mm-hmm. Men are weak. Not men, just human beings.
Human beings.
Yeah. Human beings are weak in general. I mean, that started back in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, humans are weak. They ate the apple. That's where it all started. You know, that's why, and you know, that's why we feel things like pain. And you know, even if you take the religion part out of it, it's science too. Pain tells you that there's something wrong. You know, like if you think about the opiate crisis too, what do opiates do? They take the pain away,
Mm-hmm.
but the pain is telling you that something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But people get addicted to not being in pain. And I think that's what makes the opiates so dangerous, is because it takes the pain away. And some people are not mentally strong enough to handle that kind of pain. They just want it to go away. And I get it, you know, but, and I'm going to sound like my boss here, he's very much a holistic, you know, everything that you put in your body matters. And he actually said something like this to me, that, you know, pain is your body telling you that something's wrong. And sometimes you have to listen to it. Otherwise, you're just masking the pain.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe this is his way of opening up.
There's that drawing again. There's
a lot of eyes. He really is. It's very abstract.
Yeah.
With is that a snake coming out of his mouth? There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different faces in there. It is very abstract. There's a lot of chaos in it.
There is. And you know, what's really interesting is this made me think of the Matrix.
Mm.
You know how they had the plug in the back of their head?
Mm-hmm.
And this one is in the mouth. I mean, it made me think of that, something along those lines. And then you see horns in there,
Yep. In a
which I
couple
think,
of different places.
yeah,
Because you could interpret the 2 pieces on the top of the head as horn-like as well. It's very abstract. It's fascinating. I can see that, the Matrix stuff, but you know, the most powerful weapon we have as human beings is our mouth.
the power of the tongue
Mm-hmm.
is mightier than a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Erase your mind saying some geometry. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. There's some, you know, black hole of sorts. There's a couple of them. But then the piece that's attached to the body almost looks like a virus of sorts. Yeah. You know how some under a microscope, some of them have that kind of tail-like.
Mm-hmm.
It's intriguing.
Erase your mind also saying existing only by machine.
Mm-hmm.
James Grant saying that picture could be a hint of what's in the future. You know how Randy is known as the Viper. Vipers are after snakes after all. He does have some unfinished business with him.
I think he has unfinished business with lots of people.
Hanzo saying, I feel like the thing in his mouth isn't a snake, but maybe a wire that's connected to his brain / head and pulling him out from the machine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Diana, hello, how are you? Mark saying, I will say whoever did this is very talented. We're
I
thinking
I think
you're thinking that it's him.
yeah. I'm 99% positive that he drew that.
That's remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Joe. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I think, like I said, it made me think of the Matrix, how
Yeah.
they're connected in the Matrix, and how the awakening came when they unplugged.
Right.
And I mean,
Maybe he's upcoming on an awakening of sorts.
mhm, a rebirth, as it was
Yeah.
mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And the other words that he said was to be sentient, and I had to look that up.
It
Um,
means to feel, doesn't it? The ability to feel.
so let's see here. Sentient definition. Um, able to perceive or feel
Yeah.
things.
So he wants to feel things.
Mm-hmm.
But that was an odd way to write that. You know what I mean? Like it was, I think there's something to, that's Logan. Sorry. Jesse's asking who the kid is throwing a fit in the background. That would be Logan. So it's definitely interesting to note that he did split those tweets up and they're different instead of putting it all together in one.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like the way you think, you know, because you sometimes you can think like that. You'll have one thought and then go, but what if, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is interesting, and it's beautiful in a way to speak like you really think. And yeah, I think there's definitely something to be said for splitting the tweets up like he did.
Yeah. I mean, Alicia, does he want to feel the buzz of the crowd?
I like that. Sentient.
I didn't know how to pronounce it, so I listened to the Google pronunciation. Honestly, I did this because I was like, I gotta prepare for the show. So that's how Google pronounced it. It could be sentient, whatever it is. He used it. I had to look it up because I wasn't getting the definition on my own, so I had to look it up. Um, so yeah.
I really love art like this though, because there's so much going on that you have to slow down and look at it. You know what I mean? That's what I love about abstract art. You have to stand and stare at it for a little while. But it's almost like the more you stare at it, the less it makes sense. It just gets very chaotic. But I love that about abstract art. Like it does make you stop and you have to look at it like we were doing with all those pieces of Kyle art that he was sending out. We were trying to find different people,
Yeah,
and stuff inside the picture. So I love that he's using that ability to draw, not just, you know, for him to have that outlet and that, you know, that therapy session for himself, but also so, you know, we can see how brilliant he is too. Not that we didn't already know that he's brilliant, but it's nice to see this other side of him. Not many people have.
Right.
It's almost a vulnerability that we haven't seen from him before.
Right. Big Dan saying he's more machine now than man, twisted and evil. Maybe this new character will make the Fiend look like a Boy Scout. I think he'd kill it as Carnage, a Carnage type character with no remorse or conscience.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to be said too, like going forward, he could continue to have this inner battle and we could see things like that, that he has that side of no remorse, no conscience, but eventually the conscience catches up with him. And it's almost like most of the time he is that dark character, but every now and then he has that breakthrough of real humanity. And that causes him some inner turmoil. I mean, that's a great script for a movie.
Yeah. I have to post a funny comment in the chat. I'm debating on whether or not to post it because I want to be petty right now, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice.
What?
There was a comment made in the chat, a couple comments, and it's not even worth getting into, but I want to be petty about it. Listen, basically the long and short of it is when I'll go ahead and address it. Wyndham has talked about mental health before, and there are things that relate to that by the way he has spoken, by some of the things that he said. And listen, no one's denying that he said he's in the best, he's in the best place of his life right now. But if something has a tie to it, we're going to talk about it. So that's why we talk about it, and it's our show. So we're gonna make ties to things that we want to make ties to, and if you don't like that, then I'm sorry, but you don't have to stick around. But we're going to discuss how those gaps are bridged. Period. So tough noogies. And that's I'm actually proud of myself because I was not rude and I didn't curse. And that's growth. I'm proud of myself right now.
Well, my give a fuck meter is broken today because I'm medicated from my surgery. So all I'm gonna say to this dude is people like you are the reason that people don't enjoy social media. You are nothing more than a bully, and go fuck yourself, because there isn't a single person on this planet that doesn't suffer from some kind of mental health issue. Every single person does at some point in their life. And I hope to God, when you have your psychological breakdown, that the nurses and the doctors and your support system are as unsupportive as you have been. So go fuck yourself. Bye-bye.
There you go. We've said our piece. So double burger.
I got 2 middle fingers for that dude.
Yeah, there's just no place.
Cash
Anyway.
me outside. How about that? I'll really give you some mental health issues because I'm a throat punch you. I'm a nurse. I know how to deprive your brain of oxygen. I'm gonna shut up now.
Yeah, it's just not necessary. Dalton Riley saying mental health is a very serious topic and I battle with it. Listen, I have too. I do on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a part of being human. in 2022.
But that's a problem. Like, this stigma that surrounds mental health is really sad.
It's a problem. And it, see, this is a topic that I'm passionate about. See, now you're just going to get the full unadulterated truth. But comments like that are the reason why people suffer in silence. They're the reason why people don't feel safe enough to share when they're going through something. Is because of people that look at it as weak, or people that look at it as, oh, we got to talk about that again. Yeah, we do. We need to talk about it more. It needs to be a part of everyday conversation. Why? Because it creates a safe place
Mm-hmm.
for people to be able to share. And if you haven't had someone that's had to come to you in a moment of crisis, then you know what? Maybe that says a lot about you as a friend. Um, and I commend the people who talk about it, who don't hide behind a mask of shame and sadness. They can express those emotions and express those things, um, and feel. A lot of people want to become numb.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about that
Yeah.
in this episode about pain and how it relates. Um, so yeah, don't get me started on talking about mental health, because that'll be a whole nother hour and a half podcast, and then I'll be done with my TED talk, and then you'll really hate um, what we're talking about. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't understand that stigma around it. I mean, it's a medical condition, just like high blood pressure.
hmm
We're not that way about high blood pressure. There's so many other factors that are involved: genetics, diet, exercise pattern. I mean, and what do most of antidepressants do? They block that ability to feel.
hmm yep, yep,
And Dalton saying that he had his issues when he was 13. I ignored mine until after I had my son. I ignored mine until I ended up in a psych hospital 6 months after I delivered Tate, because I attempted suicide, because I refused to accept the fact that I was depressed. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'll be fine.
yeah. I mean, we need to live in a place where it's okay to have these conversations and not worry about people saying, "Oh, we got to talk about that again." Yes, we do. Yes, we do, and we're going to. And if it helps people feel better, or if it connects you to a story that has helped you out, like it does with many people in Bray Wyatt, then that's what we're going to talk about.
I mean, it's
So,
John 13:34.
hmm
We have to love each other.
hmm yes. So,
I think all of
speaking,
the world's problems would disappear if we just followed that one simple sentence:
love.
love.
Love is a powerful thing.
But you can't
And,
feel if you're a machine. Nice segue back to Bray.
yep.
Bye
Yeah, you're gonna be gone.
bye.
You're gonna be gone. We're not gonna. So yeah, let's go back to Bray. So you don't think that um any of his recent activity means a quicker return to the ring?
Mm-mm. No, I don't think so. I think it's a step in the process to what he wants to do going forward. I think it could apply to lots of things. It could apply to coming back to wrestling. It could apply to moving on to movies. It could apply to anything. I like Callie's point of view, Jesse's point of view. Self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
You poke a bear, you're going to get bit. Just saying. Anyway.
I mean, there was.
You step on a snake, you're going to get bit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You did kind of. I mean, people told you earlier to stop. I didn't acknowledge you earlier because you were being a troll. So people asked you to stop. You didn't stop. That's why you had to be addressed. So, Cookie Kid on Fire saying, "Yo, what's up?"
Yo.
But yeah, I would. So you think he's gonna do some of this other stuff first, like the movie and all that other stuff first, before he approaches coming back?
Yeah, I do. It's just I could be totally wrong about that. It's just kind of my gut feeling. I think he's really going to take some time to focus on things other than wrestling, to kind of like this journey of self-discovery. I really feel like he's going to be slow, not in a bad way. Just, I think he's really going to take his time and figure out what he wants to do. He's in that beautiful ability right now that he has the ability to do that. That he can just face every offer, every decision slowly and figure out if it's the right choice for him or not.
I like what James Chadwick says. Whenever he does return to wrestling, hope we get some creepy ass vignettes.
I think whenever he does decide to come back to wrestling, he is going to be dark.
Yeah. You think darker than any of the Fiend stuff?
Yeah.
You think darker? Okay, wow.
I do. Yeah, I think it's going to be very dark.
Now that I could get down with.
Me too. I mean, you're at the point where, like I said, he has the ability to wait. And if that's what he wants to do, is wait for certain opportunities and certain contracts to allow him full creative freedom and do what he wants to do, it's going to be dark. Because he's going to wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times has he talked to us about being patient?
Right.
So, we'll see. I'm excited.
I am too. I'm ready to see what's next, and I know all of you are out there too, ready to see what's next. Big Dan saying, Jeff, what if his return vignettes mirror the Riddler's riddles in the Batman? Ooh. Yeah. I like that. Obviously, seeing the Batman as many times as I have already, and gonna see it more. Wow, that would be. Cool. You still haven't seen it? It is awesome. It is awesome.
I know, it's on my list. It's on the list.
Yeah. Great that it's on HBO Max right now. I can watch it anytime and pause and do all that good stuff. So, oh gosh, I love it. Um, they filmed it in Liverpool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I know.
Man.
I'm gonna watch it. I need to. I've just been waiting for Chris to be able to watch it with me.
Yeah.
And I pretty much haven't been home very much lately. So, well, dang. You see the news?
What news?
Elon Musk reached a deal to buy Twitter for $44 billion.
I did see that a little bit earlier. It's a lot of money. Yeah, I don't get it either.
I don't understand who has that kind of money, I guess.
Why? Hanzo saying also off topic.
Huh?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
If I had $44 billion, the last thing I would want to do is buy a social media platform. I mean, could you imagine how much outreach and how much difference you can make in the lives of everyday people if you donated most of that?
Yep. I would help so many people.
I mean, go build a hospital and go build hospitals in Africa. Or
Build some.
in Africa, there's so many anyway.
Build affordable housing here in the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, we're gonna take off. It is 7:00, and we're gonna head out for the evening. Jodie, anything to share before we go?
Be nice to each other.
Be nice, please.
Love each other.
Yes, and it's okay to have difficult conversations. Please remember that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, we're going to head out. We will be back on this channel on Thursday for Impact Wrestling, the fallout from Rebellion. We will start at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be here. Come join us. And we'll have a lot of fun.
Yes, Rare Kitty. I'm going to see Caleb June 11th.
Awesome. So that's it. Until next time, folks, be nice to one another. Take care of yourselves. And we will see you next time for another edition of Abby's Window.